time for our day one math lesson, and we are starting our chapter on money, which for us will consist of coins. So I have my big coins, hopefully so you can see them a little better. The ones on the board, you can't see the color very well, but it's okay, we'll deal with that. But I have our first coin, which is bronze, and it's a penny, and a penny is worth 1 cent, one little tiny cent. I have the smallest coin that we'll be using, and that's a dime. It's silver, and it's worth 10 cents. It'll be the smallest one we use in class. Then this coin is a little bigger than the penny and the dime. It is a nickel, and it's worth 5 cents. And then the biggest one we'll use in first grade is a quarter, and it's worth 25 cents. One thing we'll be doing a lot with the money is skip counting, because we have 10, 5, and 25. We will skip count by 10s, 5s, and 25s. So we'll work on counting money and skip counting. So first I just wanted to point them out to you, help you to know which one is which. Our book tells us that these are the two faces of a penny. It has a heads and a tails. The heads is the side with the heads on it, obviously. Heads and tails. The penny has a value of 1 cent. These are the two faces of a nickel. Heads and tails. Some nickels look like this, some of the older ones. Heads and tails. A nickel has a value of 5 cents. And the dime, heads and tails, and it has a value of 10 cents. So I'm going to flip my page and then we'll keep going. Okay, so on the board, we're just going to jump right in. That's the easiest way to do it with money. We have a few questions. We have a nickel. A nickel has a value of, blow it into your hand, release it, 5 cents. Very good. 5 cents. And this is the cent mark. If you can't see it very well, it looks like that. That's a cent mark. Number 2, a dime. A dime has a value of, blow it into your hand, release it, 10 cents. Very good. 10 cents. 3, a penny has a value of, a penny, blow it into your hand, release it. Good job, 1 cent. You guys don't have this page, so don't search for it. It's not part of your workbook, but it's what we would do here on the board if you were actually in the classroom. So this is just for us to do together. And then down here, number 4, how many pennies are there? They have given us a few coins. Looks like Mom and Dad might have went to the coin jar, got a few out, threw them down. How many pennies? Let's count our pennies. And remember, when we count, we mark through it so we don't count it over and over and over. Okay, here's a penny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 pennies. Now, it doesn't ask us, but we're going to talk about it. If I have 6 pennies, how many cents do I have? Remember, a penny has a value of 1 cent. So, since pennies are worth 1, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies, I have 6 cents. Now, how many nickels are there? Remember, nickels are worth 5 cents. So let's count our nickels. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 nickels. Now, I want to know how much change we have in nickels. How much do we have? How much money do we have in nickels? So since nickels are worth 5 cents, we're going to skip count by 5s. So we have 4 nickels, 4. We're going to skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20. We have 20 cents in nickels. 6, how many dimes are there? Let's count our dimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 dimes. Now we know dimes are worth 10 cents. So when we count our dimes to see how much money we have in dimes, we're going to skip count by tens. So we have 8 dimes, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 80 cents in dimes. And the best way to learn these types of countings with the skip counting and counting your money is to practice. So I bet somewhere in your house your parents have a jar of change. Most of us do. Ask mom and dad or grandma and grandpa to get some change for you, and you guys play a game with it, or count money back and forth, or anything you can do to just practice with counting the money. That's going to help you. So let's go on to our next page. All right, our next page, we are counting money again, a little more practice, then we're going to do our workbook pages. I'm going to let you do some of your workbook pages all by yourself. So, our top one, number 7, we have pennies. How much is a penny worth? Blow it into your hand, release it, good job, 1 cent. There are blank cents. We are counting pennies, so we count by ones, okay? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cents, okay? Then we have number 8, we have nickels. How many nickels do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we count by, when we use nickels, what are they worth? Blow it into your hand, release it. Good job, 5 cents. Nickels are worth 5 cents, so we skip count by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 slots to skip count. We're going to start with 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. We have 20 cents. 5, 10, 15, 20. And our last one, we have dimes. We have 2 dimes. Remember what a dime is worth. Blow it into your hand. Release it. Good job. 10 cents. Skip count by tens because they're dimes. They're worth 10 cents. We have 2 dimes, so we start with 10 because it's worth 10. 10, 20. When we count by tens, 10, 20. There are 20 cents. Okay, now we're going to go to your workbook pages, and you need to go to page 209. We're going to start on workbook page 209. Page 209 is a matching. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to look at coins on a paper and remember which one's which, because when they're flat on a paper, it's hard to figure them out. And they're in black and white, so they're not their actual colors. So we're going to match. This one is the smallest. It's worth 10 cents. It's going to match up with penny, nickel, or dime. Which one? Good job. That's our dime. This one is our penny. I just gave you the answer. Okay. This one is our 5-cent piece. And what is the name of our 5-cent piece? It is a, blow it into your hand, nickel. Alright. Flip over to page 210. Okay, this one, they give us a coin and they want us to put how much the coin is worth in the little answer place. So number 2, who can tell me what coin this is? Blow it in your hand, release it. A penny, and how much is a penny worth? 1 cent. Great job. And number 3, Looking at this one, it's a little bit bigger than a penny, but not quite as big as a quarter. Good job. That's a nickel. And how much is a nickel worth? Throw it in your hand. Release it. 5 cents. Very good. I want you guys to do these two all by yourself. Let Mom and Dad check those. Then we'll come down to complete. Number 6. We have a chart. We have to complete the chart. And they're giving us an example. 5 cents has a value of 5. The name of it is nickel. So the coin is worth 5 cents. The value is 5 cents. Name is nickel. We're going to fill this in. Our next coin is 10 cents. What's the value of it? Good job. 10 cents. And what's its name? Dime. Very good. And you guys can decode that dime. It has a tricky E making the I say its name. So you should be able to spell that all by yourself. Our last one says 1 cent. What is our value? Good job. 1 cent. And what is it called? A penny. Good job. Great job. Now flip over to page 211. Moving right along. Okay, we have a group of coins. We have dimes, nickels, and pennies. Group the coins, nickels and dimes. Then count on to fill in the blank. So we have nickels and we have dimes. We will group them up. Group the nickels. We'll circle all of our nickels. Group the dimes. We'll circle all of our dimes. There are blank dimes. How many dimes do we have? Let's all count together. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 dimes. There are blank coins in all. That's all of our coins on the whole page. So we're just going to count. You guys count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 coins in all. There are blank fewer dimes than nickels. How many fewer or less dimes do we have than nickels? Well, how many nickels do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 nickels. How many dimes do we have? 1, 2, 3. 7, take away 3, blow it into your hand. Release it. Great job. 4. There are 4 fewer dimes and nickels. 4 less. There are blank more pennies than dimes. How many more pennies do we have than dimes? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pennies and 3 dimes. 5 minus 3, blow it in your hand, release it. 2, there are 2 more pennies than dimes. That's one way to do it. You know, the easy way that we used to do, match them up, those cancel out, we have 2 left. That was another way, but you guys are ready for the hard way. All right, find the value. Pennies, let's look up here. How many pennies do we have? Our pennies have not been circled yet. They're all right here. The value of our pennies is, remember pennies are worth 1 cent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I have 5 pennies and they're all are worth 1 cent, then I have 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, 5 cent. And this is how we write our cent sign. All right, number 12, nickels. How much do we have in nickels? Nickels are worth how much? Put it in your hand. Release it. Great job. Nickels are worth 5 cents. So we have to skip count when we count out how much we have in nickels. 5 fives. So let's find our nickels, put our finger on them. We're going to start with 5 and skip count all the way till we get to the end of our nickels. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. We have 35-cent in nickels. Alright, our last one, dimes. Remember, our dimes are our smallest coin that we're going to use in first grade. And it's worth how many cents? Load in your hand, release it, 10 cents. Very good. So when we count dimes, we start with 10 and count on by tens. Each one is worth 10 cents. So 10, 20, 30. We have 30 cents in dimes. Great job, guys. Again, I would recommend getting some change, getting it out, getting really familiar with what it looks like, and practicing how much it's worth by playing games. However you want to do that with your parents. Money is a whole lot of fun to learn. So that's the end of this lesson, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.